Welcome back to Comic Book ASMR. Today we're going to be doing another comic book haul. So yeah, I've got about a month and a half worth of stuff here. I've got some figures and stuff to show off too. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So first off, I wanted to share this cool book that I had found here. I'll throw an image up on the screen. I had the opportunity of meeting Comic Tom 101 and Jonboy Myers about 2 weeks ago. They were in my shop when I was doing my local pickup, and I saw basically the back of Comic Tom's head, and I saw he was filming a video or a live stream or something, so I stayed out of his way. And whenever they made their way up to the register, I caught the side view of Jonboy, and I was like, oh, it's Jonboy here with him. Initially, I thought it was just one of his friends or someone random with Tom. So after I realized it was Jonboy, then I was like, hey, I'm waiting for your Kickstarter to ship and stuff like that, which I actually got it like a week or so after that. So. But yeah, I love Jonboy's work, so I was really excited to get to talk to him. I've wanted to meet him for a while. He's been to Emerald City, I think, twice now, and both times I've missed him. He was actually like the only reason I would attend these past couple ones that I missed, I think, and it's just like I can't justify a ticket for a single artist. But yeah, I was really excited to finally meet Jonboy. So he's really energetic creator. He likes to share a lot of like inspirations that he loves on his socials and stuff, and I just love he's just kind of got a really fresh set of eyes on the work that he does. He does a lot of concept work. I don't think he does a lot of interiors just because it doesn't pay quite different. It's more or less like if you do a cover for a book, you almost make what you would get paid for the full interiors, if I remember correctly, something to that nature. So he does a lot of covers that seem to be responded to very well. He's very collectible art, just really fun to look at. So, but I'll be showing off his Kickstarter here in another video here soon, hopefully. And you can check out my old video. I did my introduction to his work and his other Kickstarter. It was one of my older videos, so I'll leave a link to that below. But just really cool to finally meet Comic Tom and Jonboy, both very inspirational to me. And yeah, so they had hid 2 of these signed Turtles books in the store. Actually, I don't know if the other one was a Turtles book too. Maybe it was a Transformers one, I'm not sure, but I know I found this one. So they hid 2, I found one of them, and I love the Turtles anyway, as you all know, so I was really excited to have this one signed by Jonboy. It's got the hide and seek variant 1, number 2 of 2. So really cool. I won't open it just because it's an older book. This is from Turtles 109. This is a X-Men homage here. But yeah, we'll move on to the rest of the stuff. Alright, I was fortunate enough to pick up the shiny foil variant of the Absolute Batman number 1. And this was a series that really didn't excite me too much initially, just because of how strange they made Bruce here, where he's just like super giant and jacked, and that logo was just so crazy. But they had it there on the shelf, and a part of it too was just trying to show it off for you guys, because I know this is something that a lot of you would be curious about. It's been flying off the shelves, and I read this with a fresh set of eyes, so I wasn't really expecting a lot going in, and I'd say that I was pleasantly surprised. So I really enjoyed it. It has quite a few fun, surprising moments in it. So, I mean, if you're not into how crazy and huge Batman looks or how weird that logo is, I'd say definitely still give it a chance. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the book. Let me flip a little bit later and we can see some of the stuff here. So yeah, we see this moment here when he takes off his symbol and turns it into this little battle axe thing. So just kind of strange. He cuts this guy's hand off here. But yeah, not the typical Batman we're used to. And then here is the Absolute Superman. This one came out, I think, this past week or so. And I did like the Batman one more than this. Something interesting about this, they play up the angle where basically the symbol, the House of L symbol in the past, you know, kind of the crest thing. Here it's kind of a symbol for like blue collar workers who are literally working in like steel mines on his home planet here. So that's kind of a different take on a little bit of Superman's background. And it's kind of weird. They've got just kind of a different sort of, it's still very sci-fi-esque. So you can see here, very bright visuals here, some crazy stuff happening there. So yeah, they're kind of like in the mines here, doing their work and being subjected to kind of the hazards and things like that. And then we see Superman just trying to, you know, do his best to protect the everyman here. So once again, I look forward to seeing where this goes, but I did enjoy the Batman one more. But if you're curious, I'd say definitely check these out. And we got Aliens versus Avengers #2. And I just love Saab Ribic's artwork. And this book here, I remember when I saw his Thor run, that's his art always takes me back to whole God Killer, God Bomb, you know, that whole story arc they did, and I absolutely love that. So whenever I see his style, I'm kind of just transported back to those Thor stories that I read, and I love his style. I love this Cassidy tribute they did in there too, really nice. But yeah, he's just such a talented artist, and I really look forward to anytime he's working on a book, seeing what he does with it. We see a very, very old version of Tony Stark here. Oh, and you can see, I don't know if you saw the previous thing, basically he like blindsides this dude making a threat with him, saying he's helpless more or less, and then he ends that guy. So this takes place way in the future. You see Cap with a beard here. Lots of fun moments in this too. I look forward to seeing where it goes. And we have some of the leftovers here. We have Absolute Power #4. This is a transition that leads into the All-In event. So this wraps up Absolute Power. It was kind of like the big summer fall event. I don't know if it was all released on time. It seems like it was spread out more than it should have been. Regardless, really enjoyable story. I loved the artwork in this a lot too. Lots of cool moments throughout. And yeah. Here's the special about what happened with Superman's son when he got kind of taken over by Brainiac's, I guess, queen or wife or whatever. which was a really crazy moment in the story. And so this kind of gives you more details and more background and kind of him purging his body of the virus to get back to his old self. This was really cool too. And then here's the all-in special. And so this was a weird book because it's like an upside down. I don't even know what the proper cover is here. It's like an upside down, right side up book. So when you open it, regardless of the way you open it, it's printed to skew with how the verbiage on the cover is. So we see here, everything is right side up, and then as you turn midway through, oh no, it's all upside down. But if you flip the book over this way, that's all right side up. So yeah, it's two stories and they just kind of converge. It's about the Justice League kind of like coming together. This is right after the Absolute Power event. So it's them reestablishing their role to protect and all this sort of stuff. So they run up against Darkseid, and then they pretty much, during the battle, trigger something that makes this weird sort of universal shift, weird type thing. As you guys know, there's so much multiverse stuff out there now, you know, just kind of like a standard thing about variants and all this type of stuff. So regardless of how overused alternate dimension stuff is within comics, especially now, being saturated with the movies and all that, yeah, it's still fun. This is an interesting story. I loved how we kind of get kind of a older Kirby-esque nods. It definitely looks, you know, darker than his style, but you can tell definitely the artist here is very, you can see the Kirby influence on the work here. And yeah, it is basically Justice League versus Darkseid's army, and then there's kind of a fallout of it all, resulting in the Absolute event. And we have Batman 153. I believe this is Chip Zdarsky's last arc on Batman. It's, I think, maybe even Jorge Jimenez's last two. It might not be. I don't know. So I'm trying to remember. I read this particular issue a while back ago. Oh yeah, there's part of it where it's like the Riddler is kind of like trying to clear his name, where he's like a normal straight person now, no longer a criminal, you know. And then there's like a random kind of gray area version of Captain America here. I think this is a brand new hero here. And he has run-in with Batman, where he doesn't like him because he's using guns to fight crime. There's that one, and this is the newer one. This is 154. And so the mayor has been killed, and they're more or less trying to figure out who did it. And some pretty crazy stuff happens by the end of the book, but I'm not gonna say what it is to intrigue you to go check it out and get it. So yeah, naturally, if you're a Batman fan, you will enjoy it. And we have Detective Comics number 1090. Oh, and this book is crazy. So they add some more background to Batman's origin here. And we have Mikkel Yannon on the art duties. Tom Taylor's writing it. And I know that Mikkel does do some digital backgrounds, I believe, but his figures are not digital. I know I saw on his on one of his socials he had shared like the cover, and it was done like physically. So I was surprised because I thought all of his stuff was all done with a computer. So I guess not. But yeah, so this story takes place before everything. So we have stuff with Thomas Wayne here, in his role as a doctor, doing some ethical stuff, kind of figuring out the right thing he should do, all this type of stuff. And yeah, there's a big element added to things leading up to the moments when Bruce's parents are killed. So pretty huge, pretty important. I don't know if stuff will be retconned or whatever, but it's interesting. It's an interesting look at more of what happened, you know, to start everything. And we have the Long Halloween, the last Halloween prologue here. Tim Sale passed quite a while ago, and this was one of those back burner things. Him and Jeff Loeb never got around to fully actualizing. So they had like part of it taken care of. And I think all the first issue here is actually a full thing. But all the issues after are going to be different kind of artists who really loved and respected Tim. And they're just kind of big names, and they're going to do, each chapter is going to be done by a different one of these big talents, which in the back I believe it says all of who. Maybe there's the nice picture of Tim there. Yeah, I got to meet him pretty much every year I was at Emerald City. I'd get more things signed for other people. He was like, oh, you've just grown tired of seeing me now, haven't you? I'm just like, well, it's not that, but, you know, I'm just used to seeing you here, and, you know, other people I know love your work, so I take joy in being able to get you to sign things for them because they love your stuff. So he was very humble and very kind, and just such a great soul from what I could gather. You know, I mean, I know people have their personal life or whatever, but all the times I met him, he was just really nice and humble. So, but yeah, here's the list of creators here. As you can see, I'm not going to read them all there, but some really solid talent. So I don't know if I'll buy each of the individual books or wait for the trade, but very least picked this up. I saw it on the shelf and I couldn't resist it. So here we got the chrome variant for Superman here. So shiny. This is number 1070 of Action Comics. I'm trying to remember. The paper stock's really interesting in this too. It's like all done in kind of like the same quality paper as the cover. It's this really slick, heavy sort of cover here. But yeah, kind of some stuff where Superman pays a visit again to the Phantom Zone. He gets in there and kind of does his best to help things out. And then the B story is a Supergirl story, and actually this is the first time in a while the B story has interested me quite a bit. I really like the art in it, so congrats to them. Like, it's I usually get pretty annoyed with the B stories in these books, but there's some really good art in this one actually. So, and Action Comics has been releasing like weekly, I guess. So they've been, there's my camera and me. So yeah, they've been banging these out, so I should have more to show you. Yeah, here's in 1071, and it's all the same art. It's the same team for all these. 1072. 1073. Yeah, so it's literally every single week they put out one. He meets Mon-El. There's, of course, lots of crazy stuff going on in the Phantom Zone. And this almost reminds me of Conduit here, so I'm not sure if that's what they're going for, but that's what that reminds me of. And then I think I had so many books that I couldn't fit them all in the box. So this is 1074. This is the newest one. I love the cover on this. But this continues on, so he is, looks like he's trying to blend in a bit here. He's hiding his logo. And then he meets his parents here, which is weird. And he's trying to conceal himself from them. Okay. Alright, let's get the rest of these here, and then we'll look at some of the side stuff. So here's Superman number 19. And this story features Doomsday and Lois with powers, which I know was kind of a thing at some point too, so I'm not sure where any of it fits in. But it's nice to look at. Like, this is a really nice shot here. And as you'll see, here we get some Doomsday action there. And there's kind of the recreation of the iconic panel there. So, and then something crazy happens in this too. Yeah, speaking of crazy, we've got Wolverine Revenge number 3 here. And yeah, he's just kind of going on a warpath pretty much. Fighting and killing everyone on his list here. Which a few of them is just kind of like, oh, I understand. You know, so we get a fight with Omega Red here. And I kind of like, all these battles go really quickly, and then he just quickly kills these guys. So he offs Omega Red there. And then I got the ongoing Wolverine number 2 here. And this picks up, he runs across Wendigo here. So as I'm sure all of you know by this point, him fighting Wendigo and the Hulk was kind of like that big first appearance. And I got the Deadpool team up chrome foil cover number 1 here. Yeah, so the whole thing is done by Liefeld, which, as you can see, the man's still not drawing feet here. And he gets, people give him a hard time for his work, but you know what, it's fun to look at. And he's old school, so see, there's some feet there. But yeah, anytime I see like a Liefeld full interior book or a cover, I'm usually pretty prone to get it. So I was like, oh, why not? They had issues number 1 and 2 there at the time when I made that decision. And then I accidentally picked up number 3 of another series. which was, I think, the World War III, Deadpool, Wolverine World War III book. So there's number 2's team up here. Which, I mean, I don't know, look at that. That foot, it looks like it doesn't look right at all. It almost looks like a potato. It's foreshortened just in such a weird way, but it's whatever. Like I said, it's, you know, Liefeld has made more of a contribution than I will ever make to any book ever. So you gotta give him his dues at the very least. And then, yeah, here's the newest one. They came out number 3 here. So we see some Hulk action in here. And on Rob's, on his Instagram, he was putting like fun-sized candies in Hulk's mouth. He said he'd never drawn like a full-page, 2-page spread of anyone's face like that before, but he really wanted to since it was the Hulk. And I love that the Hulk calls Deadpool Pool Boy throughout this book. It's kind of poking fun at his own creation there, you know. So yeah, this is fun. So it's still not wrapped. I thought this was the last part to it, but it's not. And yeah, here's what I got accidentally thinking it was the part 3 of the team up book there. So this is World War III, and it's got the fun buddy charm bracelet thing. And I think this was done by Andy Kubert. No, is it Adam? I always screw up which Kubert is which. Yeah, Adam Kubert. And this book is kind of nuts too. I want to go back and find the other parts to it. There's a few of these recent series they did. They did a bunch of like Wolverine and Deadpool stuff. Of course, they capitalize. Look at this. As Deadpool like growing out of the back of Wolverine here. Really strange. But they put out all sorts of things, and I want to get like, I think there's, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, there's a bunch of really weird Wolverine books they've recently put out. I'll have to keep my eye out for some trades or something here. Okay, that's the end of the first black box. I'm not going to take this out, but we got, this is New Mutants 98 in 3D. And I got one for my friend Kyle too. But yeah, it comes with the glasses. The paper stock is almost like cardstock quality interiors as well. Some of the panels are really work in the 3D, and some of them they don't quite work so well. But it's just a novelty regardless. It's kind of fun to see some of the stuff, like I said, work. Some of it doesn't. It is $10 for this, so that's kind of like a lot, but it's whatever. And they're going to be putting out more of these 3D books too in the back. They say they're going to do like one for like the Circle Chase, like the first like Deadpool, or is it the Circle Game? I always forget, but you know what I'm talking about. The first like Deadpool spin-off mini-series they did as standalone thing. And then they're going to do some other ones. They're going to have an X-Men #1, like the Jim Lee one. That's going to be in 3D. And they're going to do some more of them. And I got this random Toxic Avengers book. But the main reason was just, you know, Toxic Avenger was just kind of one of those weird sort of characters when I was a kid that no one knew what to do with because it was based off an R-rated movie series. So I just picked up the book pretty much just for fun here. So nothing really too spectacular about it, just kind of weird and offbeat. But honestly, I think the cover and the card stuff is the thing I liked the most about it. And whatever they use for the interior ink, like the book smells pretty off. when I was reading it, so not sure if that was intentional or not. And I found this really cool out-of-print Lobo trade at my shop. So this is the greatest hits. I do have some Lobo collections already, so when I saw this, I wasn't sure if I already owned the contents or not. And I didn't. So what they did here is they kind of interstitched together all of Lobo's appearances leading up to kind of like the iconic Bite Me Fanboy Bisley type stuff. So this is like all of the older content, and then they have like some original pages that they've worked in to transition like the whole thing together as a full story. So I thought that was really cool. So really neat. I was really fortunate to see this, especially since there's like new pages worked into it. That's something that they typically don't do when they're making trades these days. Usually when they're making the ongoing monthly books, they're already in their head formatting it to turn into a 6-part trade, or whatever they're gonna do. But this, they took all the little one-off stories and they wove it all together. So really cool little concept there. Then we have the Last Ronin 2, number 3. So yeah, this is IDW milking the turtles from the first successful Last Ronin, and just kind of continuing to do more things with it, which is fine. I don't have a problem reading more and more Turtles books, but I think it's so funny because it's like Last Ronin, last story, and then, oh, this is actually the third spin-off of what was supposed to be the last official Turtle story told. Granted, the people involved in this are not the regular Turtles anymore. We do see like aged up April here, I believe is at the top panel there. And we see like Casey Jones' daughter and stuff like that. So there's all these cool little links to the Turtles characters that we know without having the actual Ninja Turtles present. This was another cool little out-of-print book I found. So this is a tribute to Dave Cockrum, which he is responsible for doing a lot of the really iconic early Uncanny stuff. And yeah, this is just a bunch of artists kind of contributing moments and looks and images and some paragraph thoughts, memories. So just a fun little book. If you love his work, you'll probably enjoy this book a lot. So I might do a full proper thing with this, but this is kind of one of those that you can't really sit and read all this type of stuff on camera. It doesn't translate too well, but it's cool to see all the pictures and stuff here. So, and yeah, this was just a surprise. Nothing that I sought out or anything like that. Just something I stumbled upon at my shop, and that's what I love about them is they do put out a lot of stuff that you don't really find typically in shops. It's usually about what's new, and not is finding out of print things like this. So I love the fact that I can go in there and find stuff like this. All right, I'm going to move on to some of my collectibles here. So I lucked out a while ago and I found they had a cardboard display with fully stocked with more Ninja Turtle stuff for the new. So we finally got a Ray Fillet figure here. And then we got some weird characters that are, I'm assuming, from the Paramount show that I have not seen because I don't want to get yet another subscription service. And this is from the line where they had them in their school clothes during summer. I think I showed off those two guys. Another one. And I love that they make these figures where they're just really, there's no set method, because they're even doing the head swaps with these type of figures, and I'm just like, that's so weird that you have a head swap even on this huge bulky figure and try to make it work. And even these guys, you can use these on the other bodies. And this is another one where I was really excited for the Pigeon Pete figure. I still like the 2012 version with the little like swim shorts on. But this is still cool. I like Pigeon Pete. He's a fun character. And it looks like there's crap all over that piece of pizza. So I hope that's not what's going on there. But I'm pretty sure it is. And then, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Dr. Squatch. And so they released Joker and Batman soap recently. Smells super, super good. And I'll leave a link. I do have an affiliate code. I think you'll save something on your order. You get 3 free bars of soap too. I think if you spend 30, they throw in 3 bars. They have these where you can get like a multi-pack of them and save on the multi-pack, which is what I did. I think I did like 3 of each and got a savings on there. But yeah, I love that they used the Jason Fabok art for the main image, and then they have all these sorts of little other images you can look at and kind of piece together where they're from. So just really cool job with the packaging there. And yeah, check out that code, that little affiliate link below. I'll get something and you'll get something too, and you can kind of see what Dr. Squatch is all about. And there's all sorts of cool other things going on with it. They have an elf-inspired so-called Ninny Scrubbins. They just released a liquid death soap. So really weird, just all sorts of interesting collabs that they've been doing. Now we've made it to box number 2. We see World's Finest number 32. It looks like we have some vampire stuff going on. And this was aptly timed with October. But the bummer is, through all this, we still don't have Dan Mora on the art, which, you know, he was preoccupied with other books like The Absolute Power and all that type of stuff. But it's still fun, it's still enjoyable. And my son, he loves this game Multiverses here. And so they just did a mini series with this. It's still going. So it's a mashup of pretty much any and every Warner Brothers property. We've got Steven Universe characters here. We got Adventure Time characters. We got Bugs, Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo. It's insane. So this just kind of had bits of the game kind of thrown in and trying to make a little bit of a narrative of how the game came about, like why all those characters would be together fighting. So it's pretty fun, and there's even surprising moments, which is saying something, because I mean, you see the cover, it's like, well, when you have an image that weird on the cover, like, what are you going to be surprised by the inside? But it's a really fun interaction with Batman and Bugs in here, and all sorts of other characters. So I don't want to spoil too much, but then we have this nice Marvel versus Street Fighter nod cover here. But yeah, I don't want to show off too many of the inside of these to spoil them. Wicked Witch is kind of a big villain that they're facing off with here. And then there's some of the people in this book, like Livewire and and Parasite, they aren't in the game yet, so I'm like hoping maybe those characters will be added. Even the Wicked Witch, she's not in there yet. We see a Condiment King sighting here. So I'm like, oh, we might get those characters in the game. Nice Superman cover swipe there. Terrified Steven down there. Oh, these are just so much fun. This is a fun book. I really enjoy it. It's something that I wouldn't personally try to look for, but I would definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, and I think that's kind of the key to what makes it so great. And this is the newest one that just came out. In the game, they do have different skins and stuff. I don't know if there's a Bat Bugs in the game that looks like that yet, though. And then we have Violator. This is a mini-series, the first of 6 parts. This is the origin of the Violator, and let me tell you, I didn't know, I saw this on the shelf. I didn't know this was even a book that had come out. And this is incredible. Look at all of like the fine line work all throughout this book here. Really well done, really beautiful. I wasn't expecting this kind of caliber. Honestly, it's not, you know, part of the mainline Spawn stuff, but it's definitely a very important story to be telling. I'm glad that they finally did this. And in the back, you see the inks here, so you get to see some of the line work. Not digitally colored over, which I always love stuff like that. So that's number 1. And then we have number 2 here. And number 2 has a different artist as well. I think this lends itself to more of like Sam Keith style. Artist here is Kyle Hotz. I don't know who that is, but the art really reminds me of Sam Keith stuff. The Max, you know. But yeah, no, this is cool. I look forward to continuing to read this and see more incredible imagery. You can tell that they're just really putting a lot into this, and here's the black and whites there. It's crazy to look at. And we have Turtles number 3. This is from the new soft reboot here. And this one focuses on Leonardo going off and trying to do the thing he does, where he meditates as he's been known to do, and kind of recenter. And of course, trouble finds him, and then he has to deal with it. Look at that Wake of Foot Clan behind him there. And then, yeah, so that's fun. And the story keeps moving along. And there's a Yosagi Power Rangers one-shot, which if you've been reading like the Turtles ones they've done in the past and stuff, you know what to expect. But it's fun seeing those characters play together, of course. We have the Night Watcher number 2, which this is okay. It's not really grabbing me too much, but yeah, it's just, you know, one more Turtle book to read. Jenica is the new Night Watcher, which, you know, the mythos of that character is with Raph being the Night Watcher. Then we have the Saturday Morning Turtles number 18. And we have the run-in with this weird, like, mummy alligator guy. And then we have have this fun. This is the Swamp Thing first appearance reprint with the Beetlejuice cover variant on it. Gonna give this to my friend too. He's a big Swamp Thing fan and he loves Beetlejuice, as do I. I could have sworn when I got this that I already bought a copy for myself, but I did not. But I promised him that I would get him this one too, so he gets the one I have, and then I'm gonna have to find a second one for me, so it's whatever. And then our last book on the docket is Jubilee's first appearance. This is a reprint, of course. This is X-Men 244. And yeah, this is kind of like a girls' night out scenario. And we get to see Jubilee. First appearance of Jubilee right there. So, but yeah, that's going to do it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And as always, you'll have a super slumber. Thanks. Bye.